one.
It's a long teardown coming at you. We're going to dive straight into it. Jacket Salesbread, Jeremy at quickmail.com. Should I just launch into this really long cold email that got my attention somehow?
So today we're doing a teardown of
A
how
book,
many pages? Yeah, a book.
a book review.
A book review.
Yeah,
Cold
love
outreach,
that.
right?
Yeah, thanks for
Okay.
joining the Cold Email Book Club. All right, we're going to get straight into it. Subject is backgammon plus Under Armour plus their company. Mm-hmm.
Now, am I allowed to say that you love
You can
playing
say, what the fuck is
backgammon?
this? Yeah. Yeah, so I do enjoy playing backgammon, and they decided to stick that in the beginning of the subject line.
I don't get the
Let's
Under
pause.
Armour. What's the Under Armour?
You shouldn't get it, but I've talked about how Under Armour used to be a client
Oh, I
years
see.
back. Did you know I used to do um, conversion optimization for brands like Under Armour?
I
I was
didn't
like,
know that.
yeah, I
We
was
just
like,
needed 400 episodes to learn about it. Yeah.
it was like it was a weird phase in my life, Jeremy. But I would go in and um, I ended up like teaming up with a brand that did the client acquisition. So they would bring in like Indeed was a client and Under Armour. When they'd get a company, they'd say like, all right, Jack, like Under Armour wants their app login page to get a higher lift. What would you change on the headline? And so
I see.
I threw Under Armour up on some about page, and little research was done, and they threw it on the subject line. So let's give it a read. I'm going to go quickly, but Jeremy, feel free. Let's talk about this first. On the really long emails, we tend to like pause, share notes on how it's going so far. You want to do that still?
Yes, I think that's the best
Okay.
thing. Maybe we could start with a subject. What do you think of a subject? Like, does that earn the right for you to open the email or not?
It did, and yet it broke our rule where this is not about Under Armour and about backgammon in addition to the company. Like it is not that.
Yeah.
So I felt a little faked out, and maybe you can tell me if you agree at the end of the
Hmm.
read through. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So why don't you put 2.5 hours on the clock?
I'll
I'm
give
going
you
to need
10
it.
minutes, man. Give you 10
Yeah.
minutes.
All
There you
right.
go.
All right. Here we go. So let's go quick, and I'll pause after paragraph one. We haven't met yet, but I'm Robin, founder of Company and a fellow board game fan. I wish I could say my fiance and I are into backgammon like you and your wife. Sounds really cool. But our go to game is good old Monopoly. In our household, that game has the power to turn nice people into merciless competitors. Is it the same with you two? It'd be comforting to know I'm not the only man whose partner enjoys destroying them.
Wow.
Everything okay?
That's heavy, man. It turned
Yeah.
creepy, then it's kind of like interesting, but it's just like, man, it's just, I don't know. Like,
Too
I don't
much.
know where it's
It's
going. Yeah,
much
it's
too much.
too much. I
Much
don't
too
know where it's
much.
going.
Okay, let's find out. Okay. The reason for my outreach, however, is to chat about surprise, surprise, cold messaging. You're obviously an ace in the lead gen game and have seen all kinds of trends come and go at this point. Hello and goodbye, spray and pray. I did my research, so I also know you're against automated AI messages. And as much as I agree with you that hyperpersonalization is the way to go in this world, I do believe AI has a place in lead gen. All right.
How did you take this one?
Um,
Like,
I'm
did you read that far? That's the first thing.
so yeah. So being candid, a team member brought this to my attention. I'm not in my just like unfiltered inbox a lot, and I frankly don't recommend you should do the same. I'm saying you, listener or watcher. And they said, "Hey, what do you? Is this real?" That's what they said. Like they brought it up. Like, what is going on here? So it kind of got through the gatekeeper, and so when they send me messages, obviously I read each one. And at this point in my read through, I'm about, 40 seconds in and I'm like, spit it out. What are we doing here, guy?
But it still got your attention, as in like it got your curiosity, like where the hell are you going with this? It's better be good, right?
Bingo, bingo. So let's find out if it's good. You put in depth research first, looking for a clear signal that the timing and fit is right. But wouldn't it be better to get a report with a specific problem to solve for each prospect? Still, at this point, I don't know where this is going. Do you? Am I missing something?
I think here comes a pitch. So one is like the massive introduction, like, hey, I'm gonna tell you everything about my life, buddy. The second one is I'm going to compliment you so much that you're gonna have no choice but reading next. And
Right.
now it's like kind of like, hey, your approach is effective, but I think I got a better way for you. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading it.
Let's find out. So at company, we focus on delivering deep research so that you can focus on what you do best. Uh,
Yeah,
is this the hyphen, the AI
it
hyphen
is.
thing?
It
Yeah.
is the AI.
But and by the way, let's pause for a second. Jeremy and I's inside joke is you can find out if AI wrote something by did they use a double hyphen? This is a single hyphen, but for some reason, ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, they tend to default to this double, and that's a
Yeah.
kind of a dead
I
giveaway, huh?
think it's called a EM dash. But yeah, as soon
UM
as you see
dash.
that, you know it's
You
AI.
would know what that's called, Jeremy.
Fair
I'm
enough.
giving you
You
a hard
got me.
time. Okay. So what you do best, write messages that people want to read. Is that what I do best? No, man. Write messages that people reply to. But anyways, with more than 100 sources, you can get timely analysis of SEO. Here's where they lost me. Get timely analysis of SEO, backlinks, competitors, product launches, ads, and much more. And I'm like,
Yeah, I'm lost too.
uh-huh, I'm lost.
I don't know
And
now.
it gets
Yeah.
worse. It gets worse. Still skeptical. Here's my last convincing argument. I'm like, wait, I didn't even know we were having an argument here. Like, what? With us, you get more than 30 human minutes of deep research done 10x faster. Would you like to see the output of research done on you and your company? And I'm like, I think I just did.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like,
You're like,
dude, you've
put
been
everything
screaming out
here.
like already. Well, I think, yeah. Okay, let's finish. I
Well,
think I
might
got
as well
some big
finish.
thing.
Might
Yeah,
as well
yeah.
finish. P.S. I had to chuckle when I read that you did marketing for Under Armour. They saved it all the way for the bottom. Space, ellipses, space. So again, I don't know if that's another AI giveaway, but it's not how people would write. I've
Well,
been
no, it
sponsoring.
is. It's easy actually, Jack. It's just because they're Under Armour, they copied it, and there is a space at the end. It's
Oh,
a tag.
smart. It's a tag. I've been quote sponsoring them as a customer for over a decade. Mm-hmm. Thanks for telling me that. Okay. So
All right.
what's going on? What happens now?
So, I, is that fair to presume that you didn't reply to this email?
So I told my team, I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know. I think I probably said, feel free to clarify if you want to, but no action. I don't, I, it sucks because there was something here,
Yep.
but it's like this philosophy was let's gather every tidbit from the board game they mentioned on a LinkedIn post to a client they referenced in 2013. Oh, I'm not kidding. It was 2013. And so let's shotgun all this stuff and use that to our advantage. I'm like you just muddied the water. And if anything, what like made it a little bit creepy.
Yeah. Can I try a different angle? So, just completely, brainstorming, no preparation whatsoever.
Yeah,
But how about something more along the lines like, "Hey, Jack, I know you're a big fan of hyper personalization.
yeah,
We happen to be able to reduce the research it takes to do those personal line from 30 minutes to almost nothing through AI. This is what I find on your company and
way
yourself,
better,
like
way
backgammon,
better, way
whatever,
better.
whatever, whatever.
Yeah,
Is that something that you think could be helpful for your hyper targeting emails?
yeah, much better because now I know what's going on.
Hmm.
And notice that I didn't need to know that you like to play Monopoly and you wish you weren't the only man who
Zooms
has.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I want to use the word inappropriate, where it's like, I want you to calm down. Like I like good personalization, but don't beat me over the head with it. Um, like Stephen King says it pretty nicely. You want to be able to lead your reader with a rope to where you want to take them, but don't knock them unconscious with 40 pounds of steel chain that you drop on their head. This was kind of that, or it felt like it. What was good, Jeremy? What was a good thing for maybe our listener to say, all right, well, maybe I can try something like that.
I think there was some good efforts, and those are probably the discussion you'll have once you got the relationship already, right? Like if I was sending you that, I'll say like, "Hey, I'm playing Monopoly. I know you guys love backgammons." Like I
Yeah,
kind of like earn the right because now I know you a bit better, and you exchange that information with me because I think it's kind of like very personal.
right.
So, but beside that, I don't know what would you say was good?
So here's probably what I would have done. Is like chunk this out into a few different touches. I think what you said about we do this, here's an example from you. Do you think it'd be helpful? I think that's beautiful, but I could imagine in a LinkedIn invite, if you said like,
Yeah.
hey, it looks interesting. I'm no backgammon player, but I might need to check it. I don't know. Like if I could see like, oh, cool. Maybe they read my profile. No big deal. They just want a connection. I'll say yeah. And then from there, they can kind of throw in like, hey, we do AI research. This is what we found. Like, is that compelling? Do you want to check out more? As opposed to like a wall of all this stuff that um, like now so Jeremy, that we got 59 seconds, but I'm kind of done with talking about this template. If we didn't talk about the CTA, but do you want to see the output of research on you and your company? Like that's not bad, but again, I kind of already got it. But I want to talk about something else, and it's like, um,
Can I give a
it,
second example for the CTA?
yeah, for
That
sure.
would be like, send me your list of, 100 prospects you plan on
Nice,
contacting next, and
nice,
I'll enrich them for free, and you can
sweet,
see if it helps you in your
so
process or not.
cool. That's genius. Trial as a gift.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so please, if you're listening to this and you have an option to do a gimme for your list, it's think of it like people just signed up for a trial, but you're just making it dead easy for them. So genius, Jeremy. Now, I just feel like at this level, I'm gonna like say that anytime someone says, "Oh, I wear Under Armour all the time," cool, you worked with them. I think there's like an element of uh, trust that's going to be eroded because um, it's clear that this was an AI writing it, and so I honestly look at this message and I'm like, well, this guy's full of shit. Like I'm not going to like this is the most clear example of a false I want to use the word like opposite of genuine, right? Ingenuine,
100%, yeah.
like starting point. You feel the same.
It seems to me that they may have a good product to get the data and they try to use the data where you're the expert to use the data. You see what I mean? So it's like kind of like
True.
they try to use the data to show you what they could do with the
Yeah.
data, but it's your job to do those things. Like it's like me trying to teach prospecting. Well, I mean, after 10 years, I get a few bits, but
You
I'm not
got
going
it.
to
You
teach
got it.
someone else. I'm not going to teach you, prospecting. So I will just tell you like, hey, with my technology, you can find those things, but it looks a bit weird for that. And I think
Yeah.
for me, the big mistake was there's stuff that are like borderline personal that you wouldn't bring up. Like it's fine to say, Jack, I know you love backgammon. That's great. But Jack, you're playing backgammon with your wife. It's like one step too
Weird.
far, It's like,
Yeah.
hmm.
Weird. Uh-huh.
And a human will pick that up. I don't know.
It's true. It's like so just pausing for a second. I think with make a prediction, Jeremy. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying like first line personalization is dumb. I don't think it is, but that's not the point of doing outreach is to show people how much research you did. You're using it to say like this message is for you, and I don't need you to tell me that you love Monopoly and you fight viciously with your fiance because of the board game and you want other guys to back you. Like, calm down. It's like you're trying to pitch me something. Like, so what do you think about like that first line concept in 2025?
I think it can still work. The problem with AI now is it forces people to go over the bridge, or one step too far in order to prove they're not
Right.
AI. It's like, dude, I don't need you to write a book to prove me you're not AI for me to read your email. Just start with, important
Yeah.
things
I did my
that I
homework
care.
on you and
Yeah,
I
that's
think this is
fine.
relevant. Here's
Yeah,
why.
exactly.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but that's a beautiful one. Thanks for sharing that one. I really
You're
enjoyed
you're
it.
you're super welcome. I wanted to make sure before we hit record, I was like, we were talking about which teardown to do today. And I was like, Jeremy, whatever we do next, I definitely want to share this with you and hear your thoughts. What do
Well,
we
thank
call
you for
this? Like
that.
AI overkill,
It's definitely overkill. So
the
yeah,
Terminator.
if you're looking, in your living room, wherever, at work, wherever you are listening to us,
People are in their car, Jeremy. They're
or
in
in
their
your
car listening
car,
to this.
well,
Yeah.
I'm in Europe, so we don't take the car that much. Anyway, commuting, let's just say it.
Hmm.
I would say, and you're wondering, like, should I go for personalization or hyper personalization? Like, I think you're focusing on the wrong thing. So a little bit of personalization is good, as Jack said, like just like, is it really for me? Like if you're telling me like, hey, I've done this great thing for SaaS founder, like that's it. That's already your personalization. You don't need to tell me like, I like to do jogging, whatever time, like, and I did like 3,500 kilometers last year. It's like, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Like it's too much. It's just, it's fine. Is this message for me? That's really my question. Not like, and you're genuinely trying to pay me a compliment. Because these
Yeah.
days, with AI, I don't believe it anyway, whatever you come up with. That's my take. What's your take?
Yeah.
What's your take, Jack?
Um, I second what you said. Um, and I would imagine that this could be twice as good if they said half as much.
Perfect
So,
example.
yeah. So maybe calm down out there, but let's give the hat tip to at least research was done and there's work on the messaging side, but fun teardown. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jack. It was a great one.
Sweet.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Awesome. Heck
Bye.
yeah. All right.